Kobe Bryant's 47-point performance against the Trailblazers last night. We want to know, is Magic Johnson right? Will the Lakers beat the Spurs if they meet in the playoffs? Skip Bayless, your take.
Unfortunately, Stephen A. Smith, he is dead right. You know how much I love my Spurs, but you know how much I am rooting for my Spurs to lose, and fall to second. I don't care if they fall to third, Stephen A., because I want my Spurs to face no part of Kerry's Los Angeles Lakers. I'm going to remind you, since that home debacle of a collapse to the Phoenix Suns on February 27th, my Spurs have fallen apart. Tony Parker's ankle will not be right until the postseason. Manu Ginobili is gone for probably through the first round. Boris Diaw now has a back injury, and I don't know how long he's going to be out. And in that period, Stephen A., my Spurs have won only 8 out of 20 games. Tim Duncan's still playing at a sensationally high level as he turns 37. But many nights, Stephen A., I cannot tell a lie. I watch my Spurs. They look highly average, and they look highly susceptible to Kerry's Lakers, who right on time are finding themselves. Pau Gasol's finding his way in that new rotation and the new scheme that they're playing, and Kobe is simply playing some of the most sensational basketball of his life.
Well said, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Stephen A., come on.
Listen.
Yeah.
If you're going to tell me that Tony Parker's not going to play and Manu Ginobili is not going to play, then I understand where you're coming from. I was under the impression that when Magic Johnson said what he said last night, and he is the great Magic Johnson, who am I to disagree with him? But I will anyway, because here's the deal. If Tony Parker and Tim Duncan are playing, this Lakers team is presently constructed is not beating the San Antonio Spurs. If you lose Tony Parker with Manu Ginobili, that's a different ball game altogether. Because without Tony Parker, you don't have your point guard and essentially your team MVP this year when he's been healthy. That's a problem. But as long as Tony Parker is playing, Skip, I'm not concerned about the Los Angeles Lakers because you've got to figure out a way to stop San Antonio, which I don't know they can do. I'm just not sure about that. So in light of that reality, I understand what you're saying because San Antonio is older. San Antonio's a bit slower. I'm surprised at you, Skip, however, because you've raved about Kawhi Leonard so much. I mean, but that doesn't seem to equate now. I don't understand it, but that's life. All I'm saying to you is that San Antonio knows how to play playoff basketball, and they know how to play together.
Kawhi Leonard is all of 22 years of age. It has been time for him to step it up and take over some leadership and some go-to scoring. And he can't, Stephen A., yet. He's too young. Tony Parker's not going to be right the rest of the year. He can't penetrate the way he usually does. So I'm sorry, and I'm also shocked. Yeah. You are calling out the Mamba on national TV day after day. You're saying you got no shot in the first round. Well, I don't know if you're doing that to motivate. I don't know.
Well, listen, we're not going to complain if the Lakers end up winning because that's more time in L.A. for me. Let's just call it what it is. But I just can't see it. I can't see it because I can't see the rest of his supporting cast being able to come through the way they'll need to knock off one of the top 2 seeds in the Western Conference, assuming Tony Parker plays. If he doesn't play, then I get where you're coming from.
But, Stephen A., isn't that a better matchup for the Lakers? And Tony Parker isn't 100%. So it does make sense that Magic says, yes, they could beat the Spurs.
Well, anything that Magic Johnson says about basketball makes sense. I don't have to agree with it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't make sense. I'm simply saying that Tony Parker, if he's healthy enough to perform at a decent level, that is all they will need. If he is not, then the Lakers should beat them.
All I got to say, Stephen A., is I think my Spurs would have a slightly better chance against James Harden, and he is a bad man now. But at least it's just James Harden and Ashik and Chandler Parsons and Jeremy Lin. I'll take that over Kobe and Gasol and Dwight. I'm sorry.
Who are hitting their stride right now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave it right there, gentlemen.